Hi, it's Sam here again. This time, last episode, we had a look at the Wookie flying around holding onto a balloon. It was pretty cool. Well, in this time, what we want to do is to give the balloon a little bit more life. So it slides around a little bit and blows around in the wind, just looks a little bit more natural. So we're going to give that a go this episode. Should be pretty super cool. Okay, now just one quick thing. I made the stick grey. So last time, if you remember, the stick was black, and if I got a black background, that was pretty hard to see. So, but this is otherwise as before, no change. We've got a balloon layer, and we've got the artwork, and it's an separate independent layer with a plus symbol at the front, so that the stick and the balloon can move independently to the rest of the puppet. Let me just get out of the way. Window down here. Cool. And jump over to the scene with the Wookie and the balloon. And let's bring up the rigging. Cool. So as before, we've got the anchor point of the balloon layer. We've got the balloon layer selected. The anchor point is over his hand. We've got it as hinge, which is what we want. It's auto. Oh, one common thing that goes wrong. Sometimes it gets to something other than auto. It's almost certainly not what you want. I'd always put that on auto and with hinge for this one, because I want the balloon always going up. But what we want to do is have the balloon flipping from side to side a little bit. So if you click right up here, this is the global level properties and behaviors for the puppet. And all puppets by default have a physics behavior, which is this one. It might be closed. You just click the little thing to make it visible. And there's a gravity strength and a gravity direction, and that's basically to make things go down. Well, because our balloon is full of helium, what we're going to do is we're going to change this value and make it point upwards. And so the gravity is going to make the balloon want to go up. Now, if we come down, click on the balloon layer again, this symbol down here, the dot with a little line coming out of it, is called the dangle tool. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a dangle to the top of the balloon. And let's see what this does. Oh, got ahead of myself there a little bit. Clicking on here, sorry, up the top, the physics. I'm not sure why that happened, to be completely honest. Let's do a refresh. So what's happened is the balloon is going sideways. Oh, I've changed the things on the scene. I was just trying out some things before I got here, so just ignore that. We're going to do that in a moment. But here we are. We've got our balloon. You can see how it's swaying a little bit more, and that's because of the dangle that we put onto it. Now this end down here is staying firm because we put the dangle up here, but if we move a hand around a little bit, the balloon takes a little bit of a while to keep up, and so if we move around, it just adds a little bit more life to it. Now there's some different settings you can set. Like you can set the gravity strength. Whoa. You can set the squishiness. That's more of it's just a matter of having a bit of fun. To see which ones you'd like. You can see how strong it is, in which case it won't move very much at all, or have it quite loose, and then it'll be sort of more like a rubber string than a So I'm going to go back to the default because that was good enough for what we wanted. And it's sort of like once it starts, how long does it before it stops? That's what the damping controls. Okay, now the other thing we can do, so that's just a dangle behavior with physics. Because as I said, I want it to go upwards. I've changed the gravity direction to point up. But we can also add some wind. What I'm going to do is add a little bit of wind, and then there's this wind direction. So if I point the wind upwards, I've just grabbed this knob and I dragged it to where I wanted it. Well, it just gives the balloon a little bit more life. So I might take down the strength a touch there, and you just fiddle around with the values. And there's a wind variation. So it gives a bit of randomness to it. The wind's blowing backs and forwards and moving it around a bit more. Might reduce the strength a little bit. And so you just fill it to whatever you like. But it just makes the balloon look a little bit nicer. So I'm going to refresh the scene. You might have noticed his hand was sticking a little bit. As soon as I start dragging the hand, it starts remembering that, and it just stutters occasionally. So because I've moved his hand, you can just see the balloon looks a little bit nicer now when he moves along. So if I came over here and started a recording, and away goes the Wookie. Bye, Wookie. And because I had the audio on, I was trying to give him mouth movements. We'll do that in a later episode. But it just makes it a little bit more dynamic, seeing the balloon move around the place. Cool. Oh, that bobbing thing you might notice is because he made a sudden move from off the screen to suddenly he was here, and so the balloon is trying to recover and bob around. This is where you can do things like using the blends. Oh, these are the drags. Yep, ignore that one. Cool. So that's all I wanted to show. You can have a bit of a play with these sorts of things. Not getting into collisions, that's something for another time. But the wind direction and the gravity, you don't have to set it in any particular direction. If it was like a yo-yo, you'd have the thing pointing downwards. You might put this bit stronger, and then you can do a yo-yo or similar. And so you can just fiddle around with it. I've done ones where I've actually put the gravity on sideways very gently, and yeah, there's just different things you can do. There's no single right or wrong. It's just a matter of fiddling around with these capabilities to get what you want out of it. Cool. Well, hopefully you found that useful. I think it's actually quite sort of fun doing that sort of thing. And till next time, take care.